All right, we have a used rink chiller here from Iron Sleek. It's a custom ice rink chiller. This was a used system that I got with a kit based on my budget. Um, Tested out, everything worked from Iron Sleek, and gave me a couple of capacitors for the fan or for the compressor. But this year is where we went the other direction to reduce the energy cost of running this. So this year we installed soft starts onto the condenser or onto the chiller instead of using hard start system. Instead of kind of a kickstart and having high amp draw, these soft starts have a rev up process where they learn within a fraction of a second the most efficient way to get your compressor from 0 to 100 with it by reducing the surge of voltage needed to start up the compressor. And it learns this the more it runs. It learns it's an AI program built into the each soft start, and the algorithm improves every time it starts up. You will notice this right away until it runs for a few days or a bunch of cycles. So when you do it, install these on either their rink chiller or anything that can use soft starts, you're not going to have the results immediately that day. Like you might have reduced light flickering, but you'll notice the lights flicker the first few times, and you might be thinking like these things don't work. Um, but after a few days, the system's light flickering in the house has stopped or just been so low that you can barely tell. Um, Everything used to go on and off, almost on and off. Like LED lights would go off and come back on. The rink lights would go off and come back on. Like you're talking about a fraction of a second. But when you're out there skating, shooting pucks, you kind of don't want that. So um, just real quick, this was done. We installed these when it was about 5 degrees out, maybe even it was cold, very cold and windy, and at night. The wiring is not the cleanest. We will clean this up. I apologize for the mess, the rat's nest in here, but I identified each wire and made sure they went to the right place. And through that process of taking out or identifying the wire through the removal process of removing the hard start kits, I realized one of the one of the phases were compressors were actually crisscross, and what happened was one of the compressors would come on and other two would come on together at the same time. So it was more like a two-stage instead of a three-stage chiller. um, Now my major reason why the lights flickered, and also too it would increase the cost of running this thing for the amperage draw, would be skyrocket every time those two compressors would come on at the same time. So along with correcting the wiring and installing these soft starts, I was able to drop my electric bill down about 25 to 30% less for the operation or the cost of running this chiller. Now it might vary for each person because the improvement I made was substantial, but it should definitely save at least 10 to 15% off your running the chiller, especially if you have a larger system. And also too, it's just you could hear things running slightly quieter. Um, Trying to think what else we got here. So yes, we will clean up the wiring, and again, this is not a to show, not, I'm not upset that the wiring was um, it was miswired. Everything is exactly the same color and the same gauge. It's very, very, very easy to get things crisscrossed when you're installing, when they were doing anybody was doing any kind of repairs on this. And also too, it was tested. I had video of the chiller ran and tested. The system works. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of idea. Especially when a company is turning over chillers each day, used and new, and make sure that testing them before they send them out. So the newer ones, obviously, they need to be done right. But a used one, I took that risk. So, but again, I took that risk because I have the knowledge. And I wish I looked at this the first year, and but hey, eventually we took care of the problem and got everything straightened out. So big shout out, thank you to Anthony at Iron Sleek, Anthony and Mike, owners of the Iron Sleek, or um, two brothers over there, and appreciate everything they were able to get done here. I was able to build something that I can only imagine back when I was a kid. So this is great. Thank you very much, guys, and hopefully this helps out somebody. And please reach out to me for any questions about the soft starts or any kind of rink questions. I'm learning a lot from obviously running this thing a couple of years, but this whole kit, everything pretty much came with no instructions. Everything was just, let's figure this out. I got the parts and we just figured everything out. So packing it up for this year, and we'll keep updating any improvements we make on the rink during the off season. Thanks, guys.